When you think of American horror, your mind automatically
goes to Hollywood icons in the likes of Dracula, the Wolverine, and Frankenstein. Though iconic and recognizable in American pop culture and in the American horror genre, they aren't American in origin. Dracula, originally a British novel with a character based off the Eastern European mythos, and the modern werewolf based off German folklore. If you really wanted a true American story,
then look no further than the very real monsters of the Navajo, Southwest, and Northeast Algonquin. The first recorded legend of the Wendigo can trace its roots to the Algonquin-based tribes of the Northeast. The Wendigo in legend is portrayed as an evil spirit that possesses a human host. Those who were vulnerable to the Wendigo's influence were those who were corrupted by greed, hunger, or even envy. Once possessed, the human is morphed, losing all traces of their human self, both mentally and physically. They become tall and large, described as giants with ice hearts, as tall as trees, their faces melting away, leaving them lipless and jagged teeth. In more common descriptions, they are described as being skeleton-like, and in some mainstream descriptions are seen with a stacked head and glowing yellow eyes. Those who become Wendigo crave human flesh and eat any and all. Men, women, children, and even their own loved ones are all meals to the Wendigo.
With supernatural strength and speed, heightened sense, once you are the Wendigo's prey, there is no escaping. The Wendigo's most frightening trait is its ability to mimic the voices of loved ones.
With this, they lure their victims with false relief of safety into their jaws.
Forever hungry, the Wendigo will eat and continue eating, never satisfied. It's believed the longer the Wendigo eats and walks the earth, the stronger they become. They can hibernate for hundreds of years, hoarding the bodies of its victims in order to eat them whenever, until of course they run out.
Many tribes say that the only way to kill a Wendigo is to pierce the heart with an icicle.
Though outrageous sounding and good camping story material the Wendigo legend is, it's all too real in both the supernatural sense and real world. Wendigo psychosis is an actual psychotic disorder which an individual becomes cannibalistic.
Many of these cases are found during the time of mass Wendigo hysteria. Reported by Jesuit relations in the 1600s, during these mass hysterias, a sort of witch hunt for the Wendigo will happen, and many make false accusations claiming the neighbors or even family as Wendigo. A famous case of a man named Swiftbrenner in 1878 reported a psychotic episode and not only killed his family and 5 children, but ate their remainings as well. He admitted to his crimes and was sentenced to death. Originally, have believed that the crime was caused by starvation. It was later discovered that Swiftbrenner's family did have a food supply available, but instead of eating that, he turned to the bodies of his families. You may be familiar with shapeshifters. Similar to the skinwalkers, has the ability to change from human to animal, but unlike the mischievous shapeshifters, the skinwalker is a little more horrific. The Navajo called them Yi-Naldoshi, which means he who walks on all 4. In legends, the skinwalker is a type of witch with the ability to change into any animal. The most common being owls, coyote, wolves, crows, and in some sites, stray dogs. But they are not limited to just animals. In many accounts, the skinwalker can steal the face and form a human victim and assume their identity. They are able to do this when locking eyes. Similar to the Wendigo, they are able to imitate voices of those they possess and steal faces from. On the topic of similarities of the two creatures, skinwalkers like the Wendigo aren't born but are created. In the Navajo folklore, the skinwalker is born when an individual denounces all humanity with them by killing a loved one in some transition they can eat the sacrifice. The Navajo also believe that when a person dies, all the negative energy and wrong they have done leaves their body. This dark energy that is released can enter and possess a person that is near the body. This is also known as ghost sickness. This is an illness that can also turn an individual into a skinwalker.
According to many Navajo leaders, skinwalkers were used in defeating the Spanish invaders by spying on them and retrieving strategic information. But it was during the Navajo's removal in 1860 where sources say the relationship of the Navajo and skinwalkers fell apart.
It's never explained why the two ended their alliance, But since then, the Navajo held greater fear towards the skinwalkers, going as far as never speaking of them in conversation. Skinwalker sights and stories from all around the Southwest are unsettling. Stories of people seeing coyotes and stray dogs stand on their hind legs and walk like a person, dogs with human limbs like hands and legs, people hearing their own voices being imitated at night. On some reservations, there are areas that are forbidden to enter because it is believed that skinwalkers still lurk.